Call to order this meeting in the Pasadena Independent School District Board of Trustees in regular session on Tuesday, September 26, 2023, in the boardroom of the Administration Building, 1515 Cherrybrook Lane, Pasadena, Texas, at 5:30 p.m., possibly for the last time. Board members present: Mr. Marshall Kendrick, Ms. Nelda Sullivan, Ms. Crystal Davila, Mr. Kenny Fernandez, Ms. Paola Gonzalez, and me, Casey Phelan. Board members absent: Ms. Vicki Morgan. Let the record indicate that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting is duly called, and that notice of this meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Invocation tonight will be given by Mr. Kendrick, and the pledges by Ms. Paola Gonzalez.
Pray with us, please. Father, we come to you today thankful for the blessings of life. We're thankful for the way you've blessed our district with great teachers and great administrators and just tremendous personnel. It's hard to believe that we're already into the second month of school and already getting accolades for what teachers are doing and kids are doing. That's just wonderful. We ask that you would be with our country. Lord, we pray that they'll be turning back to you so that we don't have the chaos and all the things that's going on in our country that just challenges all of us because of the evil that we see. Father, we pray for Vicki and her family. We pray for continued medical help there and pray for some good results for a change. And we just pray that you would be with us as we go forward. Give us discernment tonight as we do your will in this board meeting. And just thank you for all you've done. In your name we ask it. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. I, the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Public comments according to policy BED local related to items on the open session portion of the agenda. A 30-minute allotment. Speaker tonight is Mike Monsiv. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Monsiv, President CEO of PMP. The topic is construction update. This portion of the public comments is for speakers who are addressing topics not listed on tonight's agenda. That are listed on this agenda. That's why you cross it out. We ask that all speakers refrain from using profane or vulgar language. Complaints about an individual student and or employee should seek resolution through the district's grievance process outlined in the applicable Pasadena ISD board policy, DG, BA, FNG, or GF. Along those lines, we ask that speakers respect the privacy rights of others and, in doing so, refrain from naming employees and or students during the public comment portion of the agenda. Titles may be used instead. Remember, this admonishment goes for positive or negative remarks. Each person will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Ms. Davila, will you keep time? We'll keep time, and we'll indicate when you have 1 minute left and when your time has expired. You may begin.
I do have a presentation. Is there a way to plug in?
Where's the IT guy? Our IT guy is going to help you out.
And then I also have some tables.
Great.
You want to do it?
It's within the 3 minute time. Okay.
Three. Sorry. Well, it's 30 total, but each one gets 3. Okay. Sure.
Who was a vendor who did on the safety package that y'all did that and did not get awarded.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make a correction before I start. I'm with ASAP Security.
ASAP.
The try really diligently to get through in 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yes, sir.
Appreciate it. So my name is Mike Montsev. I'm with ASAP Security Services. I'm talking to you tonight about an agenda item, X1. It's 2022 Bond Safety and Security. We're an award-winning systems integrator in the state of Texas, one of the largest privately held security companies, the only vendor to actually win the top workplaces, and the only security company to ever win the Better Business Bureau's Pinnacle Award of Distinction. One of the first items in there is from opening day as the reputation score that was presented on bid day. ASAP Security Services got the highest ranking of 16 points for reputation from our customers. The vendor that you're looking to approve tonight had the absolute worst reputation rating of any vendor that submitted a bid. On August 22nd, the board reviewed documents where your evaluation committee made recommendations for 4 companies: DAC, ASAP, MCA, and PrefTech. DAC and ASAP had the highest ratings, whereas PrefTech had the lowest, and MCA, my understanding is, had a bonding issue. Fast forward, the reason why we're here is that some things are just not adding up. In IonWave, it shows that we are the awarded vendor for the project, and there's even a supplier award document showing for the project in full amount to our company. Most importantly, Preferred Technologies is not an open options dealer. So you're going to award a $15 million project to a company who cannot buy the product, has no certified technicians, and cannot support you. They are looking to use a subcontractor out of San Antonio, and if you had a support issue, you're traveling a truck from San Antonio to Pasadena and back in order to get support. This is a product line that requires a certified dealer in order to get support, so you as a district cannot pick up the phone and get support with this product line. Further, I want to point out on that last one, that Preferred Technologies is not only a dealer, but they did not work with the manufacturer on pricing.
One minute.
That brings me up to the next one. If you look, there's a big red thumb, and that's PrefTech's bid. They stick out because the dollar amount of 13.6, whereas if you use an average calculation against all other dealers, we were all within 10%. That's the tightest possible bid you could get. And if you compare the average of open options dealers versus PrefTech's bid, they're off by 52%. Should be a red flag for you. Just a recap, PrefTech is not certified. They're utilizing a sub from San Antonio. They're going to take 1,000 days almost to complete the project, has the worst reputation rating. Versus our company was a certified dealer. We're using our own forces. We've approved about 500 days. We have the best reputation rating. And prior to this, we worked for this district for free. And we ultimately gave you the documentation that became the budget for the bid bond that you utilized in your bond package that ultimately resulted in this. We did that for free for this district. There are a lot of things with this bid I hope that you will consider. Ask questions.
Time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, sir.
Okay, we're going to adjourn to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, or to hear complaints of charges against a public officer or employee, unless the individual who is the subject of the deliberation or hearing requests a public hearing concerning matters related to the superintendent's recommendations to hire administrative personnel and/or the superintendent's recommendation related to renewals, non-renewals, and termination of contracts for professional personnel. 551.071 to consult with district attorneys concerning matters on which the attorney's duties to the district under the Code of Professional Responsibility clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meetings Act, to seek the advice of its attorney about pending or contemplating litigation or a settlement offer, and/or to consider legal advice regarding items specifically listed on the agenda. 551.072 for the purpose of discussing the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. We'll reconvene in open session as soon as possible.
And, Mr. President, I also recommend that you add 551082 for purposes of considering discipline of a public school child, if that were to come up in closed session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So you need to read that into the record?
Yes.
Where's
Just write that in. 551.
551.0?
551082 is listed on the back page, page 4, 551082.
So just add that in.
For consideration of discipline if that were to arise.
just say, I'm going to add.
I'm adding 551.082.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And now we'll adjourn. Thank you. I'm going to reconvene in open session at 7 p.m. on the dot. And we're going to open with special recognition.
Well, first of all, board members, I'd like to recognize Pasadena Memorial High School Orchestra. They sounded awesome out in their lobby tonight, so we're excited they were here and shared their special music. We also have some amazing business partners, students, and teachers to recognize tonight. We're going to start with our Career and Technical Education, who's here to recognize two of our amazing business partners for winning regional awards through the Career and Technical Association of Texas. And we have none other than Tanya Hager, our Executive Director of Career and Technical Education, who will present regional awards to these two amazing partners.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, good evening, board members and Dr. Powell, and thank you for the opportunity to be here to recognize business partners who are true champions for career and technical education. Their passion for CTE and their dedication to preparing students for the future workforce sets them apart and is the reason they are so deserving of this honor. The awards they are receiving this evening were voted on by all CTE administrators in the entire Gulf Coast region through the Career and Technical Association of Texas. So their efforts are not only being noticed by Pasadena ISD, but by every district in the region. So thank you again for giving us a minute to honor them. Our first award goes to Presiding Judge Richard Reisinger of the Pasadena Municipal Courts. Judge Reisinger has worked with the Criminal Justice Program in our district for 3 years, and during that time, this partnership has provided many opportunities for our criminal justice students. For example, the Pasadena Municipal Courthouse offers multiple internship and job shadowing opportunities to senior level students where they work alongside trained professionals at the courthouse, including prosecutors, defense attorneys, court reporters, court clerks, and support staff. Upon graduation, our students can apply for various full-time jobs at the courthouse. And with the focus on giving back to the community, Judge Reisinger has played a major role in making these opportunities possible. In addition, he is an active member of the Criminal Justice Advisory Committee, ensuring that instruction is aligned with industry standards. Lastly, Judge Reisinger volunteers as the presiding judge during monthly teen court proceedings where students participate in the sentencing phase of actual misdemeanor cases for the city of Pasadena. So please join me again in congratulating Judge Richard Reisinger from Pasadena Municipal Courts. The next exceptional business partner I would like to recognize is Maritime Education Outreach Manager Jackie Young Hall from Port Houston. Jackie has over 30 years of experience in business management and marketing and has been with Port Houston since 2017. She is a huge advocate for high school students across our region. And as we all know, the maritime industry is integral to our region, and Jackie's main objective is to ensure that it continues to prosper so that students can be prepared to fill the ever-growing labor shortage within the industry. In fact, Port Houston has invested more than $5 million in their maritime education outreach program. And as a result, she works diligently to provide support to high school CTE maritime programs by way of offering internships, scholarships, field trip opportunities, guest speakers, donations, youth expos, banquets, and she is also an active member of our advisory committee. Her commitment and dedication to the maritime industry and the teachers and students that she works with is indisputable and essential to the development and growth of high school maritime programs. So please join me once again in recognizing Jackie Young Hall from Port Houston for being the recipient of the Champion for CTE Award. Board, Dr. Powell, thank you again for the time.
Thank you. Awesome to have such amazing partners. We could not do it without them. And next, board members, we have some exciting announcements about our Summer Academic Challenge. You know we have this each summer. And so I'm going to bring Lindsay Lusneski up, one of our executive directors in the C&I department, to honor these distinguished students.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Powell and board members. Excuse me. We're excited to recognize these hardworking students tonight. Each level, elementary through high school, were asked to participate in a variety of activities. These activities included things such as Dreambox, Beanstack Reading, Accelerated Reader, Ice Station, Coding, research including topics such as Indiana Jones and other passion projects, art, culture, and musical challenges, virtual museum tours, escape rooms, and scavenger hunts, pop-up challenges that focus on the 100th anniversary of Disney, and high school students were invited to virtually visit out-of-state universities with a bonus for incoming seniors to complete the Opportunity Scholarship College list. These students that you'll see tonight represent the most diligent of all students who participated in these summer contests. And boys and girls, as we call your name, you're going to come through and we're going to have a trophy and a little certificate outside for you when it's all done. So, I'm excited to announce from elementary, our Ice Station winner is Stephanie Castro. She's also our Dream Box winner. She is from Pearl Hall Elementary. We also have from elementary our AR and Beanstack winner, Alana Rivas Lopez from Metter Elementary.
You're a beautiful little girl. Congratulations.
Yep, one more round of applause, please. All right, from middle school, we have a first place three-way tie. We have Hector Mondragon from Milstead Middle School, Bill Tran from Roberts Middle School, and Alex Xavier Rodriguez from Malillo Middle School. All right.
Good job. Congratulations.
All right, if we give our middle school kids another round of applause when our friend comes up. From intermediate, in first place is Ilana Rodriguez from Thompson Intermediate, and it's her second year in a row, y'all. We also have a second place two-way tie. Abner Palico from Bondi Intermediate. He was first place last year as well. And Jessica Tran from Bondi Intermediate.
Congratulations.
All right, let's clap for these amazing intermediate kiddos. And in high school, we have first place Ashley Hernandez from CTHS, who was first place last year. And Emily Pacheco, and I believe she was unable to make it tonight from CTHS as well. And of course, there's a lot of, oh wait, sorry about that. Please clap for our lovely high school student again. Now, I do want to take a moment to recognize a lot of people because some challenges are a lot of work and it takes a lot of hands putting this together. And so I just want to recognize my XD friends, Dr. Scott Harrell, Tracy Powell, Dan Hoppy, and Rebecca Benner. From Library Services, Ann Farley, Mary Beth Nickel, Yvonne Russell, Dr. Tom Lee, and Pam Johnson from Advanced Academics. Our principals, assistant principals, and teachers. But most importantly, the support that we have from our parents and community. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. So thank you again.
Let's get the parents of the student winners from elementary to high school to please stand so we can recognize you. All parents
Mom
of
and
the...
dads.
We know that they are motivated intrinsically, but sometimes parents pushing them along is kind of nice. So thank you for that. All right, so we have another group of awards that we want to recognize tonight. We're super excited about these as well. We have 6 campuses this evening who are going to receive TEPSA Student Leadership Awards, and 2 campuses who will be receiving the 2023 American Student Council Association School of Excellence Award. Big deal. I'd like to invite, it is a very big deal. Amanda's here, Amanda Kahn, PISD Advanced Academic Specialist, and she's going to help us with these honors.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Powell and board members, for allowing us this opportunity to recognize and celebrate our student leadership programs across the district. They're growing every year, and we're so excited. Campuses across the Pasadena School District have been developing student leadership teams. We are proud to announce 6 of our campuses received the TEPSA Student Leadership Award. The TEPSA Student Leadership Award recognizes Texas Student Council and student leadership teams for outstanding service to their schools and communities. Congratulations to our 2022-23 recipients. These campuses include Carter Lomax Middle School, Principal Rebecca Dietz, Student Council sponsors Stephanie Pelletier, Haley Norman, and Alyssa Hinojosa. Elementary School, Principal Sandra Buckner, Assistant Principal Xavier Leal, Student Council sponsors Cynthia Resendez and Toby White. Our next school is Sparks Elementary, Principal Erica Kirk, Student Council sponsors Dana Babineau and Sherry Morgan. Sherry wasn't able to make it. Next, we have Young Elementary School, Principal Amy McClellan, Student Council sponsors Julie Scott, Rosie Robles, Jana Mosley, and Sue Vella. And then we have representing middle school, Fred Roberts Middle School, Principal Citlali Guerrera, and Student Council sponsor Ashton Ramella, and Assistant Principal David Blevins. Yes, I have his name here. And also we have another recipient, Teague Elementary, Principal Sola Maria Benavides, and Assistant Principals Kim Villarreal and Gus Morales. And then our Student Council sponsors are Stephanie Peterson and Amy Campos. We are also excited to announce that Fred Roberts and Teague both received the 2023 American Student Council Association School of Excellence Award. Will you please join me in celebrating these 6 campuses, students, sponsors, principals, and their hard work and leadership. Thank you.
Great job. Thank y'all. Keep up the great work. And Eric, I think we're ready for this, but last but not least, we're going to pay special homage to 1515 Cherrybrook. I don't know if everyone in the audience knows this, but this is our last, knock on wood, this is our last board meeting at this location. This building has served us well. It used to be a mall here in Pasadena, and over 30 years ago, the school district made this their home base, and we're going to share a short video just kind of celebrating and honoring the memories of this building and what it's meant to Pasadena ISD.
the last 3 decades, we've shared countless memories, from meetings and trainings to celebrations and gatherings. Careers dawned on first days, and hugs exchanged at retirement parties. We've watched our district blossom and our students grow, and we've witnessed many educational victories. Like these walls, through moments of adversity, we've stood strong. We've made the most of our old Strawberry Mall turned administration building. Here, we've praised our greatest student achievements and honored our best staff, teachers, administrators, and leaders. Now we turn the page to a new chapter and transition to a new home, where we will make new memories and continue building dreams. We will never forget the journey through 1515 Cherry Brook Lane.
So our students at Pasadena Memorial, is Gabriel here? Is he here? Oh, okay. I thought he might be asleep since he probably stayed up all night working with these students. But we asked him to work with Pasadena Memorial High School art students. I'm assuming that art teacher's not here, right, Tony? Art teacher's not here. But their students did this amazing sketch of our current building for our board members and did watercolors and sketch and did that in a matter of about a period of class and a half. So wow, we have some talented students, to say the least. So we're excited. They say when you leave a building, you leave something behind and you take something with you. And so before they leave tonight, they're going to be signing this table. It's not going with us. I thought Marshall was going to take his marker out and sign the other table. I was like, whoa, that's going with us. But this table will not be going with us. But again, this building has meant a lot to this community. We've seen amazing things happening with our children, and we're just looking forward to a bright future at our new home, and that is coming soon. So I hopefully see you all at our next board meeting. So that is all of our special recognition, President Phelan.
Excellent. Can I get a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Mr. Kendrick. Second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Personnel section.
Mr. President, I move that we approve addenda item A.
I get a motion?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Gonzalez, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? Ms. Gonzalez? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
I'd like to welcome Michael Collins. Are you here? Hello. Mr. Michael Collins has been approved for the position of Director of Facilities and Construction. Welcome. Do you have any family or friends here? Thank you. Hello. Welcome to Pasadena ISD.
For information only, certified personnel for the 2023-2024 school year, support personnel for the 2023-2024 school year, and now we move to the education section.
Naming or special recognition.
If there are people here that want to slide out because you're here for the other things, you are more than welcome to stay, but you can leave now if you would like to go. We'll give you a minute to slip out. You don't have to.
You can also stay.
It's so entertaining. Exactly. Give it 30 more seconds. Let everybody get out of here. Okay. Consideration and possible approval of the board resolution to adopt a good cause exception for House Bill 3.
Two presentations.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get us out of here early. My bad. I'm looking ahead. We're going to move on to the educational section. Dr. Powell.
Okay, so we have Tony Lopez and Alita Harrell here, and both Dr. Lopez and Dr. Harrell are going to share more and update you on our leadership definition and how we want to push this along this year in some positive ways and educate more and more folks about it. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
Thank you very much, President Phelan, members of the board, and Dr. Powell. It is our honor to continue our work with the leadership definition and spotlight leadership this evening. So we are continuing our work with the leadership definition. And just as a reminder, the leadership definition is a framework of what leadership looks like in Pasadena. And we are excited to roll out leadership in action by spotlighting individuals who exemplify a passion for people, take pride in their work, and are purpose-driven in all that they do. And what better way to highlight leadership in action is through leadership in action. And so what we have for you is we have a 2.5-minute video produced by someone who truly exemplifies innovation and effective communication. And a big thank you to Colton Henson for helping roll this out. So thank you very much. And again, what better way to roll it out is with leadership in action. So this is a video.
At Pasadena ISD, we have leaders in every aspect of our district. We believe leadership is not a title or position. Rather, leadership inherently exists in each of us. Our employees foster leadership through their passion for the people around them, the pride they take in their work, and the purpose-driven attitude they exude in every aspect of all that they do. We firmly believe that regardless of position, each member of our district plays a crucial role in driving the success here at Pasadena ISD. Our leaders demonstrate their passion for people by being student-centered through creating a great learning environment where all can be successful. They are relationship-focused by supporting and motivating others through collaborative experiences. Our leaders also show their passion by being committed to the community and engaging in service not only with our school district, but with the broader community. Our leaders take pride in their work. By being achievement-oriented, our leaders possess a drive to accomplish all the goals they set out to achieve. They are strategic thinkers who understand the context of their work while asking questions and identifying opportunities for further advancement. Our leaders are innovative by creating opportunities to be forward-thinking and excel at turning their ideas into reality. They are professional and focused on personal growth by striving to improve their work and reaching their fullest potential through a growth mindset. Our leaders are purpose-driven individuals. They have great integrity by acting honorably and ethically. Our leaders are influencers by inspiring everyone around them. They are resilient in overcoming challenges and adapting to changes. Lastly, our leaders are great communicators by conveying their messages effectively to all. At Pasadena ISD, we want to shine a spotlight on our leaders. We are excited to announce an initiative aimed at recognizing and celebrating those individuals who exemplify leadership in action. Whether it's a colleague, team member, or even yourself, we encourage you to spotlight individuals who have made a difference and inspired others. We want to hear about the inspiring moments you have witnessed where someone's actions exemplify the leadership definition. Tell us your story by filling out this Google form. We are so excited to be highlighting the amazing work our employees do here at Pasadena ISD every day.
Nicely done.
Okay, so there are many others across the district that have exemplified these competencies seen in the video. And so we need your help, of course, to help tell their story. So tonight is the official launch, and tomorrow we're going to share this with the district. But tonight is our official launch, so you can help us spotlight the leadership in action of all of our leaders across the district. So we invite you to submit an individual and help tell the story of leadership in PISD. There you go.
Great job. Board members will send you that link also, so that you have the QR code, and then, of course, send it out express so our staff can have it as well. All right, we've got a spotlight on summer school board members, so we're going to bring up Becky Benner, Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction, to hear more about all the great things that took place this summer.
Yeah, so here I stand again to give you an excellent report about how summer school went this year. Waiting for the PowerPoint to come up, but while I do, I want to say thank you so much for the massive support that you provide our students in the summer. Look at there. Awesome. Our elementary summer school program, headed by Miss Lindsay Nasnewski, served 4,226 elementary students during 4 weeks during the summer at 11 campuses. 3,572 students received remediation, tutorials, and science camp in grades K through 4. Bilingual pre-KK programs provided academic and language supports to 331 pre-K and kindergarten students. Additionally, 323 students from grades K through 7 benefited from enrichment opportunities as part of GT camp. All in all, elementary students completed over 220,000 hours of instruction this summer in grades pre-K through 4, with about 102,000 of those contributing toward their House Bill 4545 requirements for remediation. That's a lot. That's a lot. Middle school, led by Dr. Marcia Jones this summer, served 3,013 students during 3 weeks at 5 middle school campuses. Students attended math, reading, social studies, and science camps based on their individual needs. In addition, we provided accelerated instruction for 139 students who demonstrated mastery in grade-level mathematics through the PACcelerate and PAC Bridge courses, which are the accelerated math, and 132 attended Emergent Bilingual Newcomer Camp. As you can see, middle school students completed almost 71,000 hours of instruction this summer, 54,000 of which contributed toward their 4545 requirements. In intermediate school, led by Mr. Dan Hoppy, we remediated or provide remediation for 3,598 students over 3 weeks, and this prevented their retention. Students attended reading, math, science, and social studies camps based on their individual needs. Along with middle school, we provided accelerated math instruction for 206 middle and intermediate students who had demonstrated mastery in grade-level mathematics. Additionally, 149 emerging bilingual students received additional support in their efforts to learn the English language. In total, intermediate students completed 107,000 hours of instruction this summer. Did we skip a slide? Maybe not. All right, high school. I had the pleasure of leading the high school programs this summer, which included a robust offering of initial credit courses, both traditional and virtual. These helped students stay on their graduation path and allowed them to have the room in their schedules to participate in extracurricular activities during the school year and their CTE programs of study. 3,012 students participated in high school summer school programs. Students earned 2,089 half credits of initial instruction, about half of which were earned remotely through Pasadena Virtual School. 2,429 half credits were recovered by students who failed courses during the regular school year. 60,000 hours of students required accelerated instruction was completed, and the best news is that 61 more seniors earned their high school diploma and graduated in August. Extended school year services that we call ESYS are the special education services that are provided to students with disabilities to combat regression or recoupment of skills over the summer break. The ESYS programs were led by Ms. Townsley Tabingpour and provided for students in accordance with IEPs at no cost. Many of our students who attend ESYS are in our specialized self-contained programs during the school year. This summer, we served 115 students with significant disabilities in sessions 1 and 2. Here's some longitudinal data that shows you summer school participation over time. This summer, overall enrollment was high for the second year in a row, still topping that of 2020 when COVID-19 forced us to a 100% virtual learning circumstance. House Bill 4545 requirements for providing accelerated instruction to students who did not pass state assessments led us to invite record numbers of students to summer school. As you can see, the red and yellow are the largest increases in summer school attendance for grades 5 through 8. So, 14,214 students participated in summer school in 2023. Summer school leaders that are here, please stand up. A rocket requires tremendous thrust to escape gravity to get into outer space. Getting summer school off the ground and then maintaining it in a stable orbit feels like that. It took strong work by these talented leaders to make summer school happen, and we're very thankful and proud. Thank you, guys, for all the stuff that you do to support us and cheer us on and help us get through summer school. It's a huge success again. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
I missed one, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back because I don't know why there's not a CTE slide in here for some reason, but I'm going to tell you that Career and Technology Education Camps led by Ms. Tanya Hager are offered every summer, and they are for students who complete grades 3 through 8. The purpose of the CTE Career Camp is to expose students to various career pathways that we offer in our district. Robotics camps are also very popular, provided integrated instruction relevant to many STEM career pathways that are available to our students as well. This year we ran 1 career camp, 6 robotics camps, and over 250 students attended 1 or more of those. So that's a big deal too. Say thank you, CTE. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to call you out. I just wanted to give kudos to the CTE.
No, thank you for doing that because I don't know where the slide went. But
you weren't losing your mind.
No.
Anything else? That's it. Okay. Consideration of possible approval of the board resolution to adopt a good cause exception for House Bill 3, armed security.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Marshall Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion?
So board members, you know from your most recent board workshop that this is something that came out of the last legislative session. We have an alternative standard that we've discussed with the board regarding the safety of our students, which is always our #1 priority, increasing our officers at our district PD, contracting with outside officers, and then that next agenda item that will come forward talking about a guardian program here in the district. So just want to remind you that we take this very seriously and remind our constituents we take this very seriously, and it's our utmost priority.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of creating a school guardian program for Pasadena Independent School District as part of our effort to comply with an alternative standard to meet House Bill 3 requirements.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
I think that the Guardian program is going to work out well.
And just so our audience knows, we're going to be looking at hiring retired police officers for our Guardian program, and our chief is taking that on as another layer of protection for our students and staff.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Is this unique in our district doing this, or are there other districts doing it?
So I think Chief shared it at one of his chief meetings if he wants to come up, and people were like, oh, Oh, good idea. So I don't know that it'll stay unique, but I believe at this time it is.
There are a handful of school districts in the state that have already started this kind of a program. As far as I know, we're the only ones that are openly saying we're being exclusive, at least first, to retired police officers. But there are several other guardian-type programs in the state.
Okay, so you're developing this programming. Would they have similar training to our officers now?
One more time, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. Would these officers have similar training to our officers?
They would have similar training, and our hope is that by hiring somebody that is a retired police officer, there's somebody that has been used to interacting with the public with a firearm, and they know how to safely communicate with other people, and they make hopefully good, sound decisions that we can go back and verify whenever we're hiring them.
Would they be stationed at one school specifically?
It would be open to, we're going to have to start with a few schools until we get the population growing, and then it's, because they're contractors, they're going to be able to kind of choose what school they go to on what day. Mm-hmm. But knowing how our schools are, they're going to go to one and they're going to fall in love with that school, and they're going to say, that's the only place I want to go. So our district is so good at making the police officers that we have working for us and the outside contract police officers, because we also currently hire off-duty police officers from other agencies to come in. And it's hard. Once they go to one school, they're like, no, they treat me so well, I want to go back to there again. And we're like, okay.
And the kids love it and feel safe, so thank you.
Yes.
So what is that attire going to look like? What is this person going to go into the schools look like?
Well, we want them to kind of have a distinct uniform, but we don't want it to stand out. So our thought are khaki pants and a black polo-type shirt with a small logo that says Pasadena ISD Guardian on it. And they would have a firearm that was exposed, but there's really no other markings on their shirt. So we just kind of want them to be kind of low-key and kind of in the background. Of course, interacting with the people that they're with, but we really don't want a big focus on them. We want them to be part of the support staff of that school that's there to help everybody and recognizable, but not the center of attention.
Will there be avenues for feedback and concerns when it comes to the people we hire?
Yes. The first thing we're going to do is have frequent visits with them so that they know so that we take good care of them, so that they know what our expectations are, and that our liaison officer, will work with the principals at that campus to kind of introduce the principal to the idea of this is what they do and here they are. And we've already also started a feedback survey so that after we've had them working for us for a while, the principals will be able to provide feedback through a survey online so they can tell us anything that maybe they don't want to tell us in person. But we're going to have great lines of communication with our principals. We're going to have great lines of communications with our new guardians, and they're going to be another part of our team that's here to help us and keep our kids safe.
Will the students be aware of what they are doing in our schools, or are they just going to be camouflaged in the background?
No, they're going to know what we're there for. They're going to know what those officers are there for. We're not trying to hide them in any way. I'm just saying that they don't need to be a focal part of attention. Mm-hmm. They're a support staff. They're there to help and keep the school functioning safely, and they will interact with the teachers and students that are there if the school wants them to. Otherwise, they could just kind of be in the background. It's really going to depend on the campus personality and probably also the frequency of how often that particular officer is there. Right now we have some officers that show up from other departments that first day there you'd think they'd been there for 10 years. The way the campus makes them feel comfortable and the way they feel so at ease with the kids that are there and the teachers. This is a great place to work and we know it. And so do they when they come to visit us. Yes, Ms. Selva.
When police officers retire, do they carry their T-Close certification with them?
No. They can reactivate it. There is a process for reactivating it, but if they do not take the required continuing education, their service does lapse. T-Cole has a whole process for bringing retired police officers back. 10 years ago, if somebody was out of police service and let their credentials lapse, they had to go through a complete police academy all over again. But T-Cole has fixed that, and they've made it possible with I think it's about 40 hours of training, some in-person classes and some online classes that they can actually reactivate their TCOL certification if necessary.
Well, I think this is going to be a wonderful program, and I just feel sure that our students are going to be so pleased that they're there, and they will come to understand that they're there to help them should the need arise.
Yes, ma'am.
Will they go back through psychological testing like the TCOL requires, or will they do additional training like Alice?
Alice is required. There are some firearms classes that are required. They are not officially still under TCOL. The Guardian program is separate from the TCOL, and a psychological exam is not required. So, again, our hope is by hiring retired police officers, that's a way that we have to easily do a background check on them because they have probably worked at the last agency for 15 or more years. So that day in and day out of the people that they worked with and going back to that agency and be able to get, is this somebody that is a good person to put in a school environment? Mm-hmm. Is this somebody that makes good decisions? We'll be able to get that information from these agencies. But no, ma'am, no psychological is required.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Consideration possible approval of the interlocal agreement between Pasadena ISD and Harris County for the Hike and Bike Trail Project at Fred Roberts Middle School in the amount of $21,500.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Davila. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of Spark School Park Program, say that 10 times fast, for Pearl Hall Elementary and Beverly Hills Intermediate and the corresponding agreement.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion?
Is Miss Barber here? Pickleball. I saw that.
Exciting.
Pickleball.
Any other discussion?
More?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the 2023-2024 University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Service Agreement with the Pasadena ISD PE Health and Wellness Department in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of amendment to San Jacinto College ECHS MOU and San Jacinto College Dual Credit MOU.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Ms. Davila. Any discussion?
So board members, just so you know, and I know you've read this, the legislation has allowed for us to have some savings in tuition, but some costs that are going to be increased in the area of books, but overall, quite a significant savings.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the agreement for adult education services between Harris County Department of Education and Pasadena Independent School District.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Ms. Davila. Any discussion?
I think this is a wonderful program, and I hope that our Public Relations Department can get this word out to the community so that we're able to serve everyone that wants to continue their education by joining in these classes.
Here, here.
We've had a long partnership with Harris County Department of Ed and helped a lot of parents and families. So far we have about 50, Ms. Gallego said, with Cruz Elementary and about 50 at Lomax. Is that right, Gloria? So that's what we'll be serving for this round.
Excellent.
Is this catered for people who dropped out or any?
It's catered for mainly our parent community who want ESL or learning English or GED graduation opportunities for our parents.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Excellent. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of interlocal agreement between University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and Pasadena ISD for training staff to support children with autism for a total cost of $89,980
So moved.
using grant funds.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of VW Miller Intermediate 7th and 8th grade students to travel to Washington, D.C., March 7th, 2024 through March 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Fernandez,
Second.
second by Ms. Davila. Any discussion?
I'm just glad to see that Miller is taking part in this as well. Anytime, any opportunity these kids get to go to Washington DC, I strongly, strongly urge that. That's great.
Any other discussion?
I mean, I can go on.
Fill the void. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Have fun.
Now move to the financial section. Consideration and possible approval of the 2023 appraisal roll.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion?
Do we need to put the dollar amount in there?
In the subject line, Ben says we do not, but we have had a discussion about the minutes and making sure we do that in the future, but it's not required.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The operations section. Consideration possible approval of a construction contract with Preferred Technologies LLC for the 2022 Bond Safety and Security Project in the amount of $14,709,435.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion?
So board members, before you ask questions, I'd just like to bring to the front Melissa McCullough, who worked on this, as well as Ben Poppy, our CFO, and Kevin Fornoff. They were all part of the committee that researched this once the bond was approved. I know we had a speaker earlier from a vendor. We also have our vendor here tonight from Preferred Technologies. Grady Jett is here, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Brandon Platt, who's our sales manager over Houston, and Trey Grange, project manager. So they're sitting back there as well. And then if you have questions, I wanted these three to be available because I think the information provided earlier was confusing. It was the first time that I had been contacted about it, was here at this board meeting. So I just want to have them available for you.
Any discussion?
Go ahead.
The vendor that has been selected, do they have staff in the Houston-Harris County area to meet any demands that we should have?
Yes, Ms. Sullivan, the prime that was selected is based here in Houston.
And they have sufficient staff to handle any needs that should arise in our district?
Absolutely, ma'am, as well as working with additional subcontractors.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Were you next?
I was wondering if we could see the actual scoring sheet, or if you could share with us. This one that was shared by the gentleman actually has no information on it, so could you share how that decision was made?
What page are you on?
Well,
this in she's talking about the schedule in here.
What was in
Not in
here
the board book.
has zero information, so it doesn't show the actual rating.
You understand the
Tony.
question?
Yeah, so if you're talking about the rubric that the district
Make copies
uses,
of
that's
that.
in IonSphere, yes, ma'am. Sorry, on IonWave, I apologize. So that particular item that's in IonWave, that
Copies.
rubric, right, that's public, or in terms of the information that's there, that is a objective evaluation system that's put together by purchasing and used for all of this type of projects. Okay. Do you want to speak to
Ben, why don't you talk
access
a
for
little
that?
bit about that process?
I need to ask a question.
Yeah, so just follow the basic compliance and bidding laws and processes. We do use a software to make it simpler. It's an e-bidding software, IonWave. We do have a committee that evaluates all the scoring. We do, and I think in this project, we use a consultant to help guide us because it is very specific on the specs. But then we consolidate all the committee's results. We send out a survey on references. We gather it all together and we score it. And it's weighted based on the rubrics. That's part of the template that went out. Well, that's kind of a brief overview of the process
I have
for
a
bidding.
question. The presentation made to us earlier seems like the system was upside down and the worst contractor got the job in simplification. I don't understand that, and I'm sure that's not what happened, but that's what we need an explanation of. Qualifications,
Kevin, you want to speak to that?
able to get materials, capability to do the job, all those things, and bid.
Sure. Purchasing follows the guidelines for CSP, where proposal amount is 55%, proposal quality 5%, project staff 12%, projects experience in similar projects 12%, overall reputation 16%. So those are the percentages that are graded and evaluated, and that's what we rank on. Some of those are done by the purchasing department. We have a committee that's comprised of quite a few people that had input on this, but we followed everything, all the guidelines by purchasing. Our director of purchasing drove the whole process. She was there. She did all the data entries, so we have all the information, all the data to back up all the decisions. But the contractor that was selected is the best value for the district. We're confident with this contractor and the references and things that we've seen and the work that they've done in other districts. So
Can we have them stand up and just say some other districts you've worked with, please, in the area?
Real quick,
Okay.
and I think they need to come.
Okay.
But my understanding from the presentation earlier was they're dead last in reputation. So if you could speak on that as well, as far as references.
Yeah. Those are just some of the references that were provided that were checked. We do additional checking with other districts in addition to that. That's just a 16% of the overall score. Of course, price is 55%, so we take all those things into consideration. We're not concerned at all with the reference checks.
Concerned 16%.
That's the grading, correct?
That's the grading portion of it.
But I think in the past, this district has awarded contracts on best value.
Correct.
And they've really not been successful, so I think we like to look at the overall picture and try to make the decision is what's going to be best.
Sure. We also have our technology consultant, True North, here tonight too, and I think they can speak to this company. They've worked with them personally in other districts, so.
Districts of our size or smaller districts?
Yes. Conroe,
Yeah.
Pearland.
Larger and smaller.
So I think Jose's here if you wanted to speak to that, our consultant.
Would y'all like to hear from him?
Yes.
He's our, okay.
Good evening. My name is Jose David, and I'm the Regional Director for True North Consulting, your district representative or technology consultant for this matter. So the value, so one thing, all the companies that bidded were extremely good companies. So that doesn't, the score that we did is based on data received available at the time, doesn't by no means represent the actual reputation of the company, because we are not to say that any company is worse than another one. It's not our job to do that. We just receive some data in, data out. The time that we receive the data, that's the data that we collect. So all the companies that were proposed, the 4 companies that were proposed to be in the pool last board meeting are capable and qualified. Going from there, knowing that the budget that we have at hand. We needed to figure it out what was the best value, but still without compromising none of the requirements of performance, responsibilities, and and the overall the project. So all of that was vetted, and we delivered that the best value for the district without compromising on performance or quality was Preferred Tech. The other vendors will remain in the pool and will participate, if performance is not met, so we have a contingency to follow that as well.
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this company licensed to buy the product that's going to be needed to complete this contract?
So as a prime, not only they are licensed, but they have subcontractors to mitigate the means. And I don't want to get too technical in the district, but the way that the district purchased is he purchased equipment that 26 different manufacturers could participate without the district having to invest so much moving forward. So you guys will own the equipment, and moving forward, 26 manufacturers. This happens to be one software that we're using, one software component in the overall the picture, but doesn't own any product. The product belongs to the district moving forward, and 26 different manufacturers moving forward could participate without the district having to full replace the system. So we took all of that into consideration. So yes, they could perform all the requirements of the RFP to the fullness.
So are they going to be supporting this as well?
Yes, they're prime. Our contract is strictly with them, and then they're going to have supporting staff or subcontractors to mitigate the areas and make sure. This is a massive undertaking. So they're going to have subcontractors, no any difference than any GC that works in the school. When you build the admin building, it wasn't one person doing it. It is a GC that is responsible for all the trades and all the subcontractors, but at the end, the GC is responsible for the outcome. They will be responsible. They're a local company with great reputation in this market and in this district, and we have no doubt, based on the data acquired, not by opinion, because opinion is subjective, but by data received, they're very qualified to work in the district.
Are any of the other companies that y'all were looking at, do they also subcontract?
So the companies that the other companies, most of them could self-perform the business. Some of them could subcontract. It all depends. You're talking about district-wide. So once we go into implementation of it, they could choose to subcontract the job. We didn't get to that specific on the project because we were valuing the prime or the person responsible for the job. But it's a massive undertaking. We don't say no to subcontractors.
So what was the answer? Yes, the other contractors did?
Yeah, they could. We didn't engage to, or in the RFP they didn't respond of any subcontractors they were going to use.
Because the more moving parts, the harder it is to get in touch with somebody. And I understand from what we have now is it's very difficult, and I'm not sure if they work off subcontract or not.
Are you talking about
Blue
our
Wave?
construction,
No.
our Blue Wave?
Yeah.
So that's just one piece of our security system. So we currently have multiple contracts with multiple companies. So we're trying to do more, I guess you would say, reining in of those products. People like James Nolan, who knows how all this stuff works, masterminds were on this committee, principals who actually deal with this and know what their needs are and are begging us to upgrade our systems. I mean, I'm sure Mr. Friend back there is like, come on now, let's get this going, because we have needs in the district. That's why the community heard our cries and supported our need for this. So we put a big committee together that looked at a lot of moving parts and had a lot of conversations. Melissa in my office, me in Melissa's office, Derek Duckett in my office, several others, just constantly discussing the pros, the cons, and there were pros and cons with all of these. We felt like the 4 that we brought forward to you at the August 22nd meeting were all quality competitors for this. But as we move forward, we made the decision that we're bringing to you tonight.
I think that the really important part to understand about this particular project that's different than any other type of project that you think about, sorry, Mr. Kendrick, is that better? Is that these are software systems that we're integrating together. So if you think about it right now, our Blue Wave system, it's separate. Okay, our alarm system, it's separate. Our system for looking at cameras, it's separate. Our intrusion, it's separate. Everything is separate. And the important piece about this project and the reference earlier to open options is that is a software. It's not getting shipped here from San Antonio. It's a software. And so the support that's coming from our prime on this product is going to allow us to ensure that we build the database that's going to run all of that here on site and remotely from anywhere that we need it to be done. That's the beauty about this project, is that our police, our safety and security, our IT operations, our cybersecurity, our campuses are all going to benefit significantly from this integration that we're going to be doing. And having someone who is qualified to do that work and best value is our return on our investment from our community. And we feel very confident about their ability to be able to do that work. Yes, ma'am.
Melissa, what's the time frame that it will take to accomplish bringing all these systems together?
No, that's a wonderful question. So we have a very aggressive timeline with it. Actually, PrefTech's timeline is actually faster than what we originally believed that it would be. So we believe that instead of ending in December of 2025, we're looking to end early in the summer of 2025. So by that point, we will have all 70 sites, okay, with their upgraded cameras in place, their access control in place, their intrusion in place, and then additionally we will have the back-end system, which is everything that's going to control it, and it will all be up and running. We'll actually have the back-end place and the cameras moved over to the new site. We're hoping to have that in place as we move through this school year, so that the beast, the thing that Stephen Friend and some of our other principals who spend hours with camera issues and recordings will already be able to see better views by being migrated to that system. And by using one vendor to do this, it's going to allow us to build that database in a more efficient manner than pulling together information from multiple vendors who are at multiple sites. It's not efficient, and it leaves a lot of room for error.
I got a question.
I hope that you won't think that we're being overcritical, but we have seen buildings where contracts were awarded and people have not come through, and it makes it difficult for all of our parties to operate and to do their job in an efficient manner. So we just want to make sure that all of the areas have been covered and that this is going to do what needs to be done, and that this company that's hired is not waiting for subcontractors to come in and do it, and all of this.
No, I think that these are valid concerns and want to answer all your questions, and I appreciate it. Yes, Mr. Kendrick.
I have a question under your paper here. Proposed amount, does that mean price?
Which paper, sir? I'm sorry.
The rubric. Yes.
Okay. I do not have a copy of that. Hold on.
Thank you. I've got one now.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Proposed price.
Proposed amount.
Mm-hmm.
Proposal amount carries 50%, 55% weight, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that the person you're recommending is 50% lower than everybody else?
Oh,
that's
no.
what this says.
Oh, no, sir. That is the points that they received. They received 55 points and it's worth 55% of the overall evaluation score. And they received 55 points because they were the best value.
Okay. Same piece of paper says they were 50% lower as far as reputation of the proposer.
So that particular factor is 16% of the overall score. What happens is that purchasing has a set system that they do, and they send out reference checks. We also send them out to all of the vendors that might be bidding on this project. That includes vendors that might have products that would be a part of a project in which companies don't do business with. So references can be given on a company that is based on the fact that the company doesn't do business with that vendor and product.
Well, we've had, over the years, as Nelda said, we've gone with low bid and bought the farm. I remember years ago, we still had Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all this sort of stuff, and Pepsi came in the lowest bid. Nobody around here drinks Pepsi, especially the students. So we took the higher bid.
And that's a fair thing, which is why we also do reference checks as well as for future and look at the projects that they work on and take that into consideration as well as part of a holistic committee and evaluation process.
Well, understand that we have great confidence in you guys and your consultants. And if this is your proposal, I have no problem with it.
One last question for me.
Ms. Gonzalez.
So you said they built, integrated other districts of our size with this similar thing, so building everything together?
Right, so working on similar projects where you integrate. We know we've worked in Conroe, we've worked in Aldine.
Okay.
Can you speak to the little bit?
He needs to come
Do
up.
they need to come up
I'm
to the
sorry,
mic,
even
please?
if you're loud, I'm sorry.
You won't be heard.
We record these.
That's it. If you have to speak, somebody else has to also.
My name is Grady Jett. I'm Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the company, and I've been with PrefTech for 18 years. My role originally with the company was in sales. And so a lot of the school district that we currently work with were accounts that I had that role in. Of the school districts, Conroe ISD is one of our largest school districts that we do every project for them and have for probably the last 12 years. Montgomery ISD, Pearland ISD, Aldine ISD. We just did a project of this size and magnitude, actually a little bit bigger than this, for Round Rock ISD in Austin, bringing together all of their systems, access control, video, actually even did structured cabling on that project, and their intrusion system. What are some others?
Airport, other non-districts, we have other, reputable non-district too, like the airport. We've been in the airport for 18 years, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
In their contract for 18 years.
Houston Airport Systems is our longest standing customer. So we've been with HAS. We've done, if you've gone through the airport and you've seen a camera or access control, we've done every bit of that for the last 18 years. So to be able to maintain an account like that, if we are to cause that terminal be down, it costs us $1 million an hour if that's down in liquidated damages. So we are very particular about our standards, and I would tell you that K through 12 is probably our strongest vertical in Houston, in Austin, and soon in Dallas as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Well, I do want to be overcritical because this is a $15 million project. And so we do have a lot of trust in the people that have been brought together, and we do want to hear, the positive of what it is. And, as Mr. Kendrick brings up, is that you're the lowest on the price, but also lowest on the reputation. And it doesn't sit well. And that's, I'm having to weigh the numbers versus the people that have actually vetted who you guys are and what the company is. Because my job isn't to go out and knock on Conroe ISD and find out how your reputation is. So, based off of our decision, it's based off of really a lot of trust. And we hope and pray that the way that this shakes out, that you guys come out and perform.
You have a word, sir.
And if you don't mind, when you look at it, at this matrix, make sure that you guys go from left to right, because there's more to it. This is just represent, it was a very massive project. It took 1.5 months to put together. This only represents not the quality of the company, but the time that they involved in certain areas to put the proposal. So maybe when it comes here, they lack input in presentation, but they put a very well proposal to it that allows them to be 89% versus everybody, because the last column in black is the percentage that they got awarded based on the entire matrix. So it's not only that portion, it's the overall. When you look at it, they are at 89% and the next person is at 65%. So overall, the proposal and the reputation and the quality by how far taking into considerations all the measurements, and not only that, being truthful to the constituents, right? It was to be able to do as much as it was said on the bun. Unfortunately, although the other companies were extremely qualified, right, we could only have done portions of it because they were above the budget that it was solicited in the RFP.
I have one more question and then I'll shut up.
Please.
We're hearing about all of these companies, schools that you provide this service for. And our school district is a very large school district, as you've alluded to. You're going to have to hire additional staff to do all of this. Or are you going to send the experienced worker to work on the project here?
Yes, ma'am. That's a great question. Actually, we will need to hire a couple people for this project, but one of the things that we take a lot of pride in is self-performing all of the work that we perform. So one of the questions that was asked is about a subcontractor on this, and that subcontractor is literally providing us software. All of the work that will be done, all of the cameras that will be hung, all the devices will be installed by Preferred Technologies personnel. So we perform all of that work. As for hiring, we've been hiring. We've grown 37% since January 1st with regards to personnel, and we will continue to hire as needed. This is a very large contract, but over the span of the timeline that we've got stated, it's normal growth for us.
So you won't send the inexperienced subs to us?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your.
She wants the cream of the crop.
That's right.
One point to that, also our project managers, they are all, our project managers are PMPs. We don't have lead technicians that we promote into project management. They are legitimate project managers. So we take our hiring very seriously. It took them 6 weeks to get me on board between interviews and whatnot. So yeah, our staff, we don't hire, we hire very finically. So we're always looking, but we only hire good people.
So when you assign someone to this project, that someone's going to lead us through to 2025, as Melissa said.
That's correct. And actually, Trey is our project manager, and he's actually worked in the district before, so he already has experience in the district.
You're good. Thank you very much.
As you can tell, we're a little passionate about this because of the subject matter and everything. And thank you for your time and your answers. Are there any other?
And thank you, Melissa, and your people.
That's true. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, no,
Melissa.
it's a team effort, and we appreciate
Ben,
it. Kevin and Ben and I and all the team that have worked really hard on this, Derek and Lori in purchasing as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the design development phase for the 2022 Bond Program CTE Classroom and Lab Improvements Project.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan.
Second. And we have a presentation.
Oh, and we have a presentation. Let's get the presentation, then we'll act. Perfect.
We have
Sorry.
Lisa Michella here from GPD, and she'll introduce her folks and has a presentation packet for you.
All right. Well, good evening. It's always a pleasure to be standing in front of you guys. Tonight I'm going to be presenting the Sam Rayburn High School CTE Classroom and Lab Improvement Project. So once again, I just want to thank you for having us tonight. I want to thank you, the board, Dr. Powell and her administration, and also our design committee that was really instrumental in guiding us through this project. My name is Lisa Michella. I'm the director of GPD Group Houston's office. GPD Group Houston's office. With me, I have Samblawende Kabor. He's our project coordinator for this project, and John Haskew. He's our director of business development. So just to give you a little bit of history, when the district was considering, putting together the bond package for 2022, there was 3 issues that came up for Sam Rayburn High School. And so that involved 3 different areas, one being the small engine repair, the second being ag mechanics, and the third being floral design. So the issue with the small engine repair was that there are 3.5 instructors sharing 2 small lab spaces. And so the need for that area is to have an additional lab in the classroom. For ag mechanics, there are 2 instructors sharing 1 small lab, and that lab does not accommodate all the students in the class, which leads to discipline issues. So the need is to have 1 large shared lab with 2 classrooms. And the third is the floral design, and this course is being taught in a classroom with no access to water. So the need is to have a lab with a sink, water access, and work tables. And the images on the right are just images of those areas today. So we met with the design committee, and we started first with ag mechanics and small engine repair. And we were tasked in trying to create, additional spaces. So kind of rearranging what's there and seeing if we could get those spaces that are needed in that same footprint that they're in right now. We quickly discovered that that really wasn't possible. And so with the design committee, we then started to look inside the building to see if there were spaces inside the building that we could use that would meet these needs. Once again, we were not successful. So then we started looking on the campus as a whole. And so the design committee actually came up with an idea of repurposing the old May Smith Gymnasium for CTE space. And so that is the direction that we have taken. So we will be repurposing the old May Smith gym. We will be doing some renovations inside the main building as well, and that will get us the ability to meet all the needs that are needed.
How long will that take?
Well, I'll show their schedule at the end, but we hope to be done by December of 2024.
For the repurposing of the gym?
For all of it, yes. Yep, sir.
I know why we left that gym there now.
It works out well. So this is the site plan of what you see today. So as you know, the main building there is at the bottom on the south side of the site. Just above that is the high school gymnasium, and then just above that is the early college high school. And then you'll see those tennis courts right above that. Those were built a couple of years ago. And then right above that is the old May Smith gym. So as you know, the old May Smith Elementary School was up there on the north, and it has been rebuilt on a different site. And the gym is the only thing that is remaining. So we will be reusing that. We will be adding parking and paving for a fire lane, and that is a requirement by the city. We will also be resurfacing the asphalt parking lot there. That is also a requirement by the city, and we will be adding a detention area needed. That is also a requirement by the city. The students will go from the main high school through the gym, through the early college high school, on the sidewalk along the tennis courts to the May Smith, the old May Smith gym. That's how they will access or will get over to that building. So here's a look at just the main high school there. As you know, that front entry is right there in the center. We have the CTE area to the north of that. So we have ag mechanics here in the left. We have small engine repair up here on the north. And then floral design is right down here in the corner. So I'm going to start first with the May Smith gym. So the plan on the left is what the gym looks like today. So you have the main gym area, and then you have men's and women's restrooms, a storage room, and an office. So we're going to create 2 new classrooms in that main gym area over here to the left, and then we're going to have 1 large lab that's going to be shared by those 2 classrooms. And then we're going to keep the restrooms where they're at, but we're going to renovate those because we need to bring them up to code. And when we do that, we're also going to add some lockers in there for kids to change. Below that, we'll have the storage room still. It'll be a little bit smaller than it was before, and then an office will stay the same up there in the bottom right corner. We will be adding a new overhead door here at the bottom side there, and that's going to allow the students and the instructors to bring cars into that space so they can work on those. We're also going to add a new egress door to the classroom there on the bottom. That's a requirement by the city. The one on the top there already has an egress door, so that's going to stay. And then we will be adding some new lockers for project storage and then also some new material storage as well. So what that allowed us to do then was to open up some square footage in the building. So this shows you the small engine repair lab. So to the left there is what it looks like today. There is one lab here to the left that has a small kind of classroom area down here. And then over next to it is another small engine repair classroom. This room is labeled as storage. It's kind of a mock-up like lab area, impromptu kind of lab area. But as you can see, there isn't a lot of space there for them to use. In between all of that is a bunch of offices and storage rooms. And so we'll be keeping a lot of that there. In order to stay in budget, we're going to be doing kind of some little more minor stuff inside the building. So we will be giving this a fresh coat of paint, and we will be adding some material storage and a new door into the storage area here for this lab. But other than that, lab is going to stay the same. So this is the third lab for the small engine repair, so that meets all of their needs. And so where we had the other small engine repair classroom, that is now going to become an ag mechanics classroom. So once again, we'll be giving it a fresh coat of paint. We will give it some new lockers for changing areas. So when I say changing area, the kids aren't changing clothes, they're just putting stuff on over their clothes. So these are just lockers to kind of keep, their equipment in those lockers. We will transform that storage room into a true lab, and we will be adding 4 welding stations. So welding is very popular at Sam Rayburn, and so we needed to add as many welding stations as possible. Then with that, we added some plumbing for hand washing sinks and also eye wash station. And before I forget, we will also be adding a covered workspace right outside of those 2 labs, so that will give them extension to their instructional space. So looking at ag mechanics, the plan on the left is what you see today. So there is a lab here to the left, and in that lab there are 5 welding stations. And then they also have an ag classroom, and between those is a storage and an office space. So we are taking out that storage and office space, and we also are taking out the classroom, and we're making this into a bigger lab. So this whole space now will become a lab. We will be adding a total of 8 welding stations, so they will have a total of 13 welding stations in this space. We will be adding some project storage as well, and then an enclosed tank storage room for the welding tanks. We will also be adding an exterior door just as a safety precaution because we are welding a lot of things in that lab. And then we will be adding some plumbing too, just for a new eye wash station and new lavatories. And then this will also get some new lockers for changing. So flipping over to floral design. So like I said, the need was to have access to water. And so currently, the plan at the top, the floral design classroom is down here at the end. What you don't see on this plan is that there are restrooms on this side of the office and fire riser room. So we wanted to get that floral design closer to the plumbing so that it reduces the amount of piping and trenching of the slab. So we moved them down. So this is now the floral design. And with that, we are adding a walk-in cooler, a dog wash sink, a floral fill sink, and just a hand washing sink. And so then we took a look at what else was in this row, and we decided to move fashion design, which is right here now. We're moving them to the end. It gives them a little bit larger space. They will have all the electrical that they need. And then what it does, it allows us to put a different need in this room so that because we're already putting plumbing for the floral design classroom, we're going to use this space as a classroom that needs access to water as well. So we'll be adding a sink and some casework to this classroom. So this is a rendering of what the new small engine repair lab will look like in the old May Smith gym. So we're standing in the lab space right now, looking towards the classroom space. So what you see is this new overhead door on the left that allows the students and the instructors to get cars into the space. The glass overhead doors here that you see, that leads into the classrooms. Above that is a large graphic, and really this is just a placeholder right now. We'll work on that graphic, but we'll have a large graphic above that. And then, of course, we have storage and stuff like that. We will be giving this a fresh coat of paint, and we will also be replacing the insulation at the roof because right now it's kind of falling down or missing. And we will also be replacing the metal panels on this building. So the construction budget is $7.125 million, and that's going to include the renovations of the existing high school, the renovations and conversion of the old May Smith gym, the new parking in the fire lane, the site detention, the abatement of the existing spaces as required, and the phase construction. And to finish up, this is a look at our schedule. So here we are tonight in September 2023, presenting design development to you all. And upon approval, we will then move into construction documents, and we will issue for permitting and bid in January 2024. The board will then award a contract to a contractor in March of 2024, and we will begin with the early procurement phase of the project. We will start abatement in May of 2024, and then we will start construction. So first up will be the renovation of the main building. So we're doing that over the summer to try to avoid any interruption to classes in the main building. And then once that is complete, we will move to the old May Smith gym and have everything completed in December 2024. Now, this does create a little bit of an issue because we're going to lose a small engine repair lab when we move in the ag mechanics into that space. So the school is aware of this, and they will be working through what to do with those students for that fall semester of 2024. But we see this as the best way to, keep the construction moving and kind of limit the interruption to the campus for construction. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and thank you for allowing me to present to you tonight.
Are we saving any money by being able to utilize the old May Smith gym?
Well, originally the project didn't include that, so we were actually concerned a little bit with the budget when we included the old May Smith gym and do some renovations of the main building. So that's why a lot of the stuff in the main building, we're trying to kind of keep it minimal, so it's a lot of just fresh coats of paint, not really tearing down a lot of walls if we don't have to, just to try to keep that in budget. But I think this is really the only way to move forward to really address the needs that were, that brought up when they were considering the bond.
Well, it really looks great.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. President?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask that we add Sam Rayburn's name in here so that we know what school this is going to be for?
Yes, ma'am. So when I read it, you want me to add Sam Rayburn High School to the...
Please.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Anything else? Consideration possible approval of the design development phase for the 2022 bond program, CTE program, and lab improvements for Sam Rayburn High School. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We recommend approval of allowance expenditure authorization, AEA number 80, for the new Thompson Intermediate School Replacement Project in the credit amount of $637.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the conveyance of a water meter easement for the new Thompson Intermediate School Replacement Project in the amount of $1.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan.
Second.
Second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? Anybody got a dollar? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? $1 motion carries. Consideration possible approval of allowance expenditure authorization, AEA number 002, for the roof replacement package 1 project in the amount of $77,352.60.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gonzalez.
Second.
Second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of allowance expenditure authorization, AEA number 003, for the roof replacement package 1 project in the amount of $62,002.40. Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of allowance expenditure authorization AEA number 3 for the Building Management Control Systems BMCS upgrades Group 1 project in the amount of $50,851.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Mr. Kendrick.
Totally got it.
Oh, okay, sorry. Second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion?
My voice.
Any discussion? Ms. Sullivan.
I know that we approved Group 1 and the schools were named, so this is various schools within the district, right?
That's correct. Yes, it's correct. There were multiple schools in that Group 1, so this agenda item to PHS and also to South Houston High School.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Construction updates are for information only. We're going to move to the miscellaneous section. Public comments according to BED local related to topics not listed on the agenda. 30-minute allotment. We have one speaker, Mr. Sebastian Sanders from the Sanders Hand. Topic is empowering at-risk youth through Universal Basic Income Program. This portion of public comment is for speakers who are addressing topics not listed on tonight's agenda. We ask that all speakers refrain from using profane or vulgar language. Complaints about an individual, student, and/or employee should seek resolution through the district's grievance process outlined in the applicable Pasadena ISD board policy. DGBA?
Is he here?
I don't know. Should I ask and see if he's here before I finish the resolution? Mr. Sanders, are you here?
He did not come last time he signed up, so I'm just checking. Is he
Mr.
here?
Sanders going twice.
Okay, you don't need to read it.
I don't need to read it. Moving on. We're going to set the date for the regular board meeting suggested Tuesday, October 24th, 2023 in the new administration building. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Ms. Sullivan. Can Kevin do that?
No kidding, guaranteed.
Kevin can go.
Kevin, where you at, Kevin? Yeah, Kevin, okay. Where's my second? Who's second? Ms. Gonzalez? Awesome. Any discussion?
No, we'll be there with Bill.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 8:31 p.m.